Hello everyone, hope you guys are having a great day. It is March 28th, and today I'm back with another video. Today we're going to be talking about this week's weather. This week is going to be a little bit calmer than the past 2 weeks. We're going to have a little bit less severe weather now. We still do have this severe weather threat. Um, and we're also going to talk about maybe a potential or a likely Arctic outbreak across the east kind of at the end of this week. So let's go and get started. So tonight we do have this is the day one convective outlook. This just came out a little bit ago. You have a marginal risk from central Connecticut and even a little bit of extreme southern Maryland, or not Maryland, Massachusetts, all the way down to the Florida Panhandle. Um, so there's a large marginal risk extending along much of the East Coast. And we do have a lot. We don't really have, the SPC doesn't expect a tornado threat. We have a 5% wind threat going from around, once again, Hartford, Connecticut, down to almost Tallahassee. Uh, and then we have no hail threat. So really, wind is the only threat for the rest of the night, according to the SPC. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if there is some small, like pea-sized hail with some of these storms, but that's about it. Um, Now tomorrow it does look relatively calm. No thunderstorms even forecasted. So that's something good. We haven't seen that in a while. Now day 3 is when we start to have our next storm system. Bring the chance of severe weather. This is Tuesday, the 30th. We have a marginal risk from areas of or the Arklatex over into northwestern Alabama. Cities in this is Shreveport, Monroe, Jackson. And Little Rock is right on that northern edge. Little Rock is in it though, so and Memphis also. So it's pretty much what we have for day 3. Now day 3 is going to be the start of our next kind of severe weather event. This one's not going to be the magnitude of what we had the past couple of weeks on March 25th and March 17th. I'm not expecting like a high risk or anything. We could have a few days of some severe weather, like marginal slights. And yeah, so let's go and get started. So this is the NAM model. We're going to go to Tuesday. So Monday, this is overall not a very good pattern for severe weather. We have a wave right here, a ridge over the east, and a trough, like a little trough over the northeast. And that kind of moves out. This is not a really good setup for severe weather. If anything, we could see maybe some right here, but this doesn't look too good. We're not going to see anything in that area tomorrow. There's like no instability, and it's going to be pretty chilly in that area also. We take a sounding, for example, just to see the temperature. We on northeastern South Dakota, 68. So actually, think, oh no, I'm sorry, I'm thinking about Tuesday. But this is not going to be a good setup for severe weather. Maybe some thunderstorms. Take some soundings. Let's take one right here again. Once again, not really good. We have no moisture, or not no moisture. We have moisture, but not enough. 36-degree dew point. That's pretty terrible. But then Tuesday, it starts to get more interesting. That moves off. We have another little short wave, yeah. And this is what we have Tuesday. And just by looking at this, I'd say this area looks the most interesting. So yeah, this is the area I'm going to be watching Tuesday as we go back. We go back here and we can see that's where we have our marginal risk. So let's look at ML Cape real quick, or mixed layer Cape, and see what we have. So Monday we can see we have none in this area. Actually, we do have a thin area of ML Cape, only around 200 to 300, maybe 400, but maybe some thunderstorms in this area. We'll have to see. Now Tuesday, which is where we have our marginal, or when we have our marginal risk, we have some decent instability, around 600 to maybe 1,000 Cape. So not too much, but we do have enough. And another thing we're going to look at is dew points. So, and tomorrow we also do have maybe a thin layer of, or a little bit of moisture on this front, with maybe around 50-degree dew points. And then Tuesday we have dews around 60, maybe even up into the low to mid 60s in some areas. So that's pretty good for that. Now let's go ahead and go to composite reflectivity, and we're going to zoom in on this area. So we want the south central U.S., and we're going to take some soundings. So we can see this is kind of the main event. Might even be an overnight event also. So this is overall not a terrible sounding. We have a curved hodograph. Shear is good, or not good, it's there. And instability is a little limited and is strongly capped at the surface. Uh, so this sounding is kind of a mixed situation. Now, if we didn't have the capping and we had a little bit better surface instability, we could see this actually maybe produce a tornado. But I'm not thinking that this will produce a tornado with the thermodynamics we have. But we can take one up further to the northeast in western Arkansas. Once again, we don't have much surface instability at all. And shear is there. Now, Hodo, once again, is kind of curved. So yeah, this is a little bit... We don't have a whole lot of shear. We don't have surface lapse. The surface lapse rates are terrible with this sounding. So let's take one even further to the south. Let's take one in right by Dallas Fort Worth, maybe a little bit further to the south. Now this is better. We have a decent amount of instability. Shear, once again, not perfect, but it's really marginal shear. We could see something out of that though. And Hodo is a little curved. I don't like this Hodo though. It looks a little messy. And overall, this is a better sounding. Our critical angle is 87, which that's pretty good. So, sorry, but so I said just by those soundings I took. Let's take a few more. Let's take one maybe down here to the southeast. This is better. We have marginal shear once again. Less instability but we do have a curved hodograph. Still looks a little messy though. And critical angle is around 93, which that's really good. So it looks like I'm thinking maybe that area right there looks the best. Take a sounding even once again. This is overall not bad. We have decent instability. It is kind of capped, or not kind of capped, it's capped. We have ample shear, and we have a nicely curved Hodo. Critical angle is 76, which is not bad. So this is not a terrible sounding, I'd say. Or actually, let's go ahead and go to the next forecast hour. This is forecast hour 60. This is around Wednesday. Or this is actually getting into maybe... Or no, this is early Wednesday morning, sorry. Let's take some soundings. This one might be contaminated. It slightly is, but now let's get a new one. Let's take one further to the east. Now, by this time, we kind of lose some of our instability. We don't have a whole lot of instability. Maybe some kind of marginal tornado threat with this. But with the capping, I don't think that's going to look too good. And the Hodo does look decent. Still, once again, a little messy, but not terrible. We can take a sounding further to the southwest. Take one kind of here in central Texas. Yeah, that shear is not really good at all. And this would mainly support a severe weather risk. Take a sounding kind of to the south of Little Rock. Now this is actually not terrible. We have decent shear. Only problem is that it is capped once again. We don't have a lot of instability. So that could limit it. Now I think the SPC, they could go slight risk with this by tomorrow morning. Maybe for this area. It's kind of what I'm thinking. If they go slight risk, what they could do. Now, only problem is that there's, once again, capping is kind of uncertain at this time. We could have a lot of capping, and instability might be a problem. But I think they could go slight, maybe for damaging winds, or maybe a 5% tornado risk. Kind of depends on what they do. Or kind of depends. Because I'm really unsure about tomorrow. Or not tomorrow, this is Tuesday. But if they go slight, that's most likely where they would go, in my opinion. And where the slight risk would go. But I'm unsure if they're going to go slight at this time. This event doesn't look too great to me. But it does look like we have a severe potential on Tuesday. And maybe an isolated tornado or two could be possible. So, let's go ahead and look at later this week. And So this is the GFS here. We can see Tuesday. Wednesday, this kind of moves further to the east. We have almost a kind of a positive tilt to that. Not really though, but this area right here, pretty much Wednesday looks to be maybe an East Coast day. Once again, if maybe some kind of severe weather, it kind of depends. I was watching maybe areas of the Mid Atlantic down into the southeast. It's kind of lonely what we see this time of year with this type of setup. Now, problems with Wednesday is we don't have a whole lot of instability Wednesday. We got the Wednesday here. Most of the instability is limited to the deep south or this area. Now, we do actually have decent instability. The problem is that the Mid-Atlantic doesn't. But we do have decent instability across Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina. I'm not expecting this to be like what we saw today, though, across the east. This looks much different this Wednesday. And got a bulk shear. And we can see Wednesday we have most of the bulk shear kind of in the west. A little bit further to the west. Storm relative velocity. It's most likely going to be highest up around the low. That's kind of what we're seeing. Right here, we do have decent SRH. Now, supercell composite. This is kind of important. But one thing about supercell composite is you need to know how to use it. Because supercell composite's not going to tell you where you have the best chance of supercells, really. It kind of shows you the environment you have, in a way. If that makes sense. But we can see Wednesday, we have decent supercell composite across much of the south. And I don't really want to look at the value. Of course, if the values are like, for example, the values are like 10 to, or not 10, but like 20, 30. You're going to see that and maybe think that there's a big or a large severe weather threat of supercells. But like I said before, supercell composite doesn't tell you if you're going to see supercells, really. Kind of shows you the environment you have for potential supercells. Now, this is Wednesday afternoon. We have most of it limited, or most of the supercell composite in southern Mississippi, southern and central Alabama, central and northern Georgia, and a little bit across other areas of the southeast. Wednesday evening, we can see that moves to the east. So I'd say we could, just by looking at this, I'm not going to go too in depth with Wednesday, or just by looking at the few things we looked at, it looks to me like severe weather could exist on Wednesday in this area. That's where I could see severe weather on Wednesday. So now I'll switch topics here. Let's talk about this winter. Let's talk about our winter storm that we could be seeing later this week. So we can see that Wednesday, this is Wednesday afternoon, for example. This is around 3 to 4 p.m. We can see we have a little bit of snow starting to mix in the areas of Ohio, northwestern PA, and western New York. And we go to around Wednesday evening, we have snow going from even areas of West Virginia up into New York, even northern New York. Then as we go into late Wednesday night, even into around midnight Wednesday night, going into early Thursday morning, we have snow making its way in the areas of central New York, like Albany. And in that kind of northern Maine doesn't have a whole lot of moisture. And that low moves too far to the northeast, or a whole lot of snow up there. But a little bit of snow could occur. But it looks like most of the snow right now, according to the GFS, could happen in areas of New York and PA. So, pretty interesting little winter event, maybe around Wednesday and Thursday across this area. Looks like the most accumulation would happen in northern New York. So, let's go to the European, see how that compares to the GFS. And European's kind of similar. It doesn't have as much snow back here in Ohio. Has a low further to the east, and has pretty similar story, though. Most of the accumulating snow occurring in northern New York, maybe northern Vermont also. So this definitely looks like an interesting winter weather event this Wednesday and Thursday. Like I said before, maybe a quick round of some snow across the northeast of a few inches potentially. Now, not no massive totals of like 1 foot or 2 feet of snow, but could be seeing a few inches. So yeah, now let's go back to the GFS, and we're gonna talk about because behind the storm system we're gonna have significant, or not a significant, but a pretty interesting Arctic blast. So after the storm system, this is Thursday afternoon, the 540 line, which is the average freezing line, that goes down to even northern Georgia, northern South Carolina, kind of like this. We have winds out of the north from much of the south, and for Thursday night's going to be a very cold night for areas in the northeast, the south even, and maybe even areas of the Midwest and the Ohio Valley. Friday morning is going to be below freezing for many, and then Friday will be another chilly day. We go to temperatures, and we're not going to get into exact temperatures right now, but Thursday morning, this is April 1st, it's pretty chilly across much of the U.S. We have below freezing temperatures, kind of like this. 20s even in some areas like Des Moines, Chicago, maybe St. Louis, Indianapolis, Columbus, Cleveland, Detroit. And Thursday is going to be a cold day, of course. We have highs in the 30s maybe, even in some areas 40s and 50s across even the south, which is pretty chilly for April. And then Friday night's going to be the coldest night for the east. We see below freezing temperatures, making it all the way down to even Jackson, Mississippi, Montgomery, Alabama, maybe even Macon, Georgia, and Columbia, South Carolina. Maybe even some teens in the higher elevations of the northeast and 20s in the lower elevations. So that's pretty interesting. Now, let's do this real quick. So we're going to Thursday morning, we're going to we're going to outline the freezing line with the GFS. So it kind of goes like this. So this is Thursday morning. And then let's switch colors. We're going to switch to blue. And we're going to go to Friday morning. And here, wait. Sorry. No, I messed up here. But, yeah, that matches up. Alright, so Friday morning, we can see we have this below freezing temperatures making it down like this. And now I'll switch to the European model. Alright, so with the European, let's go out to Thursday. Now this might look kind of hard to understand. Trying to do my best here. So Thursday, the European has below freezing temperatures, kind of like this. A little bit different than GFS. Keep in mind, this pink line is the below freezing temperatures Thursday morning. With the GFS's pink line, so a little bit different with the Euro. And then this black line is going to be Friday morning with the Euro. Sorry, and we can see Friday morning we have Euro's pretty similar to the GFS actually for Friday. Only difference is that we don't have freezing temperatures making it down to as far south, but still a widespread frost across the south. And European also shows maybe a little bit more widespread lower 20s, or 20 degree or like 20s, and not as much teens. That's kind of the difference. Not a whole lot. We're not going to get into exact temperatures for cities at this time. We might do that in later videos because this is a pretty significant Arctic blast. We can go to temperature anomalies, and we can see that temperatures are going to be pretty well below normal during the day. Thursday, 20 degrees below average in some cities like Columbus, Birmingham, Atlanta. And then Friday morning, 20 degrees below average for areas like Nashville, maybe even all the way down into the Florida Panhandle. So pretty significant, I guess, Arctic outbreak for the 1st and 2nd of April. It's going to be pretty short-lived, though. You can see after that, it kind of melts away quickly. And then by Sunday, it's kind of just limited to the southeast of some below average temperatures before we get back to average to even above average. But yeah, that'll wrap up this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I will be back tomorrow, but yes, goodbye.